Eating the same thing every day might look boring, but it's often a sign of a sharp mind. Highly intelligent people tend to eliminate low-impact decisions. What to wear, what to eat. They conserve mental energy for harder problems. It's called decision fatigue. The more choices you make in a day, the worse your decisions get. So, removing small ones helps. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Zuckerberg does it too. For some, repeating meals is the same idea. It simplifies life and clears mental space. Studies also show that routines can boost productivity and reduce anxiety. Repetition isn't laziness, it's efficiency. So if someone eats chicken and rice every day, they might not be dull. They might just be busy outsmarting you. Number 10. Building entire life systems you never follow. You've got a Notion dashboard, 6 color-coded planners, and a habit tracker with more rules than international airspace. And yet, somehow, you're still eating cereal at 2 p.m. wondering where the day went. This isn't laziness. It's classic high-functioning overthinker behavior. People with above-average intelligence often build entire systems to optimize life, then promptly abandon them. Why? Because the thrill is in the design, not the execution. It's like your brain's a city planner, not a construction worker. You had a system, you just forgot to live in it. Number 9. Needing alone time.
We are going to pause right there because I feel like those first two just completely came directly at me. So in the first one, when they were talking about decision fatigue, I remember I had worked at a place probably about 6 years ago, and I was explaining to one of my coworkers about Steve Jobs and about this making less decisions, wearing the same outfit. Do you know that this lady went home and pretty much got rid of her entire wardrobe and then just wore the same outfit every single day because it was going to work best for her? And she had really nice clothes too. She did not spare any cost when it came to her clothes, but she was willing to get rid of all of those clothes so that she can minimize her decisions, because there is something to it, because we do get tired from making so many decisions. It's just like the same thing as Baskin Robbins in the 31 flavors. Do you ever go into that store and you're thinking, what do I want? There's too many decisions to make, and then you just end up walking out with chocolate when you could have had butter pecan, you could have had the Oreos, blueberry sherbet. There's so many different ice creams, but yet you are stressed out about making the decision that you do not want to make it. I truly do believe decision fatigue is another thing. Another example, I remember when I was very young, I would be so stressed out walking into Subway because I had to make the decision of what I wanted to order. Now I'm a pro, and honestly I haven't been in Subway in a long time, but I would have no issue with that. But there was a time in my life that making those decisions was extremely hard for me. So if you are somebody who struggles with decision fatigue, try to minimize it. Try to make life as easy as possible. Get yourself on a really good routine. Wear the same outfit every day. When I was in high school, I went to a private school, a charter school, to where I had to wear a uniform every single day. We wore khakis, blue tops, polos with the little sweatshirts and the polo that came out the top. Do you know that that was my favorite time in life? My favorite time. I didn't have to make one decision because it was already made for me when it came to clothes. I would get up, I would roll out of bed, I would put on my uniform, and I would go to school. That was the best time of my life. If I could wear a uniform right now every single day, I would. And I do with my business. I have a bunch of my shirts that I have with my logo on them. I have 2 different pairs of pants, and I keep it super easy, and I have a drawer with all of my things in it. And then we get to the number 2 when it was talking about all of the planners that you have. If I showed you, you know what? Let me just show you a little bit here. Right here. Here's a yellow pad. My dad used to always have the yellow pads that he would write on in front of me when I was a little girl. I have this notebook over here. What's inside this notebook? There's another notebook in here. I have a sea of planners that are color-coded, that are dated, but there's a sea of them. Too many. I feel like I'm being targeted in this video, but that's okay because this is information that people need to learn. You might think, why am I doing all of this? There's a reason for it. Let's get back to the show.
After socializing. After a party, some people want an after party. You want noise-canceling headphones and a locked bathroom. That's not rudeness. That's mental maintenance. Research shows people with higher cognitive ability often have stronger introversion traits. They process conversations more deeply, analyze more social cues, and burn out faster. In one study, intelligent individuals reported less life satisfaction when socializing more than average. Their brains prefer solo mode for reflection and creativity. So if you vanish after small talk and need a full system reboot, don't feel guilty. Your brain's not antisocial. It's just too busy being smart. Number 8. Staying up late.
That was absolutely my husband right there. So he will get overstimulated after going to events. I am more of the extrovert. I can go out in front of people and I do get tired and I get drained because I also feel like I'm an empath in ways, but aren't we all? Everybody's like, I'm an empath. I remember when nobody used to say that, just to let you know. But I don't feel that exhaustion that he does. He flourishes in a solo situation to where he's just by himself. Our conversation's phenomenal. But if I have to take him out and have him talk to a bunch of people, he's like, first of all, he does not like small talk. So he does not care what a person did that day. And I am not offended by it. When I first met him, I'm like, okay. But now that I understand him, everything about him, I'm like, oh, that makes complete sense. He wants to have deep, meaningful conversations, which is why most of these videos are very deep and meaningful. You see all of this. Everything that I react to, it's very intellectual in a way to where that's just his brain. So he doesn't want to do all of that. Whereas I'm like, yeah, let's go. We'll talk to everybody. But what's great is being with him over the years has allowed me to really kind of enjoy that solo time, enjoy that quiet time, enjoy that downtime of not always having to feel like you're on. Because when you are an extrovert and you are out, sometimes you just feel that's what can be draining because you're talking to everybody, you're smooching up with everybody. And sometimes that can be very, very draining. These are awesome. I like these a lot.
For no reason. If you're wide awake at 2 a.m. for absolutely no reason, it might not be insomnia. It might be intelligence. Research links night owl behavior to higher IQ scores. Late sleepers often score better in abstract thinking, creativity, and problem solving. Their brains don't shut off at sunset. They kick in. And no, it's not just gamers and doom scrollers. Some of history's brightest minds were chronic night owls. Darwin, Churchill, even Mozart. The theory? Smarter brains might be better at overriding natural biological rhythms, staying active when most others are powering down. So if you're crafting ideas while the world sleeps, you're not weird. You're just running on genius mode. Number 7. Getting bored of small talk quickly. If someone starts talking about the weather and you feel your will to live slowly dissolving, good news, you might be highly intelligent. Smart brains crave depth, not surface-level chatter about humidity. It's not that you hate people. You just can't pretend to care about Karen's third cat or how it might rain later. Researchers call it a need for meaningful stimulation. You call it staring into space while someone explains their salad. Because while most folks are fine swapping fluff, your brain's busy solving existential crises or rewriting the laws of physics mid-conversation. So next time you zone out during hump day updates, just know you're not rude. You're operating on premium bandwidth and small talk's stuck on dial-up. Number 6. Tendency to delay tasks, then nail them under pressure. You had 2 weeks. You started 2 hours before the deadline, and somehow still crushed it. That's not laziness. It's a known quirk of intelligent minds. Some of the most brilliant thinkers were expert procrastinators. Leonardo da Vinci took 16 years to finish the Mona Lisa. Douglas Adams, author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, once said, "I love deadlines. I love the whooshing sound they make as they fly by." Why? High IQ brains often need pressure to shut out distractions and enter hyperfocus. They're not avoiding work. They're waiting for the perfect storm of panic and caffeine to summon their best ideas. So, if you only come alive when the clock's ticking down, you're not broken. You're just cooking with mental jet fuel on a 5-minute timer. Number 5, making
That
jokes
is the dopamine shots. Like you're searching for that dopamine. I absolutely can relate to that. I can tell you a story I'll never forget. It was 9th grade that I was in history class. And Miss Toole, my history teacher, said, Tanisha, if you started this earlier, you might have, because this is the thing. I would wait to the very last minute to do my projects and I would get A's on them. I'm talking the last minute. I would be outside in the hallway whipping together my project. And she would say, if you started earlier, you wouldn't be so stressed out by this. And that's just not how it worked for me. I've always been a last minute person to get things done. Now, I've worked on that over my life because that's not attainable when you're a wife, a mother, when you have multiple things going on, when you have your own business. You cannot push everything on to the last minute. And especially they say with people with ADD, which is what I have, you're looking for the dopamine shots in it. It's something like, there's all that dopamine of waiting till the last minute and then getting it all done. And I have had to be able to regulate that because it's just not sustainable and it could become very stressful. But it's also an area, if I could play it right, where I am like, I'm golden because I'm also my background. I used to do sales and I used to do different types of business, and I would be called the clutch player. I would always come in clutch. Like, you call me out, I will come in at the last minute. I will score all the points. That's just something that I've been able to do my entire life. So whereas it's also my superpower, it can become very tiring, and it can wear me out. So it's not sustainable, like I said. So now that I'm in my 40s, I try not to do that. There's certain things that I push off, but I try to be very mindful about, hey, it's time to get ready. It's time to go. It's time to leave earlier, because I struggled with being on time my entire life. I have lost friends over it. I have missed multiple appointments over my life, just pushing it to the last minute. And I just try not to do that anymore, because I want to be respectful of other people's time, and then also myself, because I don't like to put myself in that type of pressure. It just doesn't feel good, and I feel like that's where a lot of the guilt comes from. But I can absolutely relate to that. That is just something that I've done my entire life, but I am a work in progress, and I always work on it. So I always do. It's something I'm very much aware of.
You say, my ex is like a quantum particle, always in two places at once, and Karen just stares at you over her mimosa. Research shows that people with higher IQs often prefer complex humor, wordplay, dark irony, obscure references. The weirder the punchline, the sharper the brain. If you've ever made yourself laugh so hard you had to explain your own joke with a diagram, congratulations. You might be a comedic genius trapped in a normie world. Keep dropping those cerebral zingers. Someday, you'll find your people, or at least a Reddit thread that gets it. Number 4, always feeling a bit socially awkward. If you've ever rehearsed your coffee order 5 times, panicked anyway, and said medium large please, you might be smarter than you think. Social awkwardness is often linked to higher intelligence. Studies show highly intelligent people tend to overanalyze social situations. They're not bad at socializing. They're just thinking too much about every possible outcome. While others are chatting about weekend plans, you're mentally buffering, did my handshake last too long? Should I have said you too after she said safe travels? Einstein, massive social misfit. Newton, basically invented staying inside. High IQs can come with low small talk tolerance. So if your brain turns handshakes into boss battles, relax. You're not weird, you're just overclocked. Number 3, constantly questioning everything. If your first instinct is to ask, but why? You might be running on high cognitive horsepower. Studies in cognitive psychology link higher intelligence with low cognitive closure. The need for answers feels less urgent than the need for understanding. Smart people tolerate ambiguity longer. They'd rather investigate than accept surface-level truths. That's why highly intelligent people often challenge norms, question authority, and even reevaluate their own opinions. It's not contrarianism. It's just how their brains process information, constantly checking for logical consistency. Einstein called it holy curiosity. Socrates made a whole career out of it. So next time someone asks, why can't you just go with the flow? Just smile and say, because I'm busy rerouting the river. Number 2, not trusting instructions unless you've tested them yourself. If your gut reaction to instructions is, I'll figure it out myself, congrats. You might be running a high-spec brain. Curious minds don't just follow rules, they test them. Whether it's ignoring IKEA manuals or baking cookies without measuring cups, it's not chaos. It's science. Sort of. Research links this to a trait called need for cognition. Basically, people who get a kick out of thinking things through themselves. So if you've ever reassembled a coffee machine just to see if the manual was lying, that's not stubbornness.
Oh my goodness.
That's DIY IQ.
It's my husband.
Number 1, getting emotionally attached to inanimate objects. Ever said sorry to a chair after bumping into it? Or felt weirdly guilty throwing out an old pair of socks?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Before we go any further, I am just feeling absolutely attacked. I am feeling so attacked by this. I say goodbye to clothes that have done me well over the years. I say goodbye to couches. I thank them for being there. It's like, what is this attachment to these inanimate objects? I just don't even know. My whole life I've been like that. I just thought it was part of, having a little bit of a hoarder in you, that I got from my mom. She would keep onto everything. And I would be like, we've had that thing for 20 years. I can't let it go. I can't let it go. It's served us so well. I would just be so emotional about it. Even, I am telling you. So recently we just bought a new car, and I have my old car. She's out in the garage right now. She needs a little TLC, right? Do you know that I walk by her often and tell her how much I appreciate her and how she's done so much for our family and for my business? And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to have my business where I am today. I am nuts. That is what you're dealing with. This is a real thing. That's why it would be so hard for me to throw away old clothes, old furniture, old items. I carried my stuffed teddy bears with me for so long to the point where they weren't even in pieces anymore. You know, I've always been that person. Always saying sorry. It's like, what are we talking about here? To where my husband, he will go into my closet and he will remove things. And if I didn't see him do it, I'm like, well, we're good. Because he knows I will never do it. I will never. He has to be able to do it. If I don't know what's happening, I'm fine. I'm not going to cry over it, but you're not going to see me do it. You're not going to see me do it. I won't get rid of it. I just won't. Let's continue to watch this, but I feel like that one was like daggers at me, straight up daggers. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
You're not broken. You're just emotionally overqualified. Getting attached to inanimate objects is often a sign of high emotional intelligence. Researchers believe it stems from something called anthropomorphism, when we project human feelings onto non-human things.
Gotta stop.
It's not just cute. It's linked to higher empathy, creativity, and social intelligence. You're not weird for naming your Roomba or feeling bad when your childhood stuffed animal ends up in storage. Your brain just doesn't draw a hard line between people and things. So go ahead, apologize to the coffee table. That's not cringe. That's emotional depth.
I love it.
If you've been called weird, maybe you're just smarter than average. Thanks for watching, and drop a comment if one of these hit a little too close to home.
Did any of those hit a little too close to home for you? If so, please let me know. Which one did you feel like that you related to? Because I easily related to like 5 of those and then put the other 5 on my husband. We're like 50-50 down the middle. I absolutely related those. That last one about inanimate objects, come on. And then he said the stuffed animal being in the garage, all of that stuff. I have felt all of that. I really do like these videos. I've never seen this one before, but I've seen other ones that are made by this. This is
Me Explain Things.
That is who made this video. So you should go to their site because they have a lot of really good videos that explain everything. And for this, I just felt like more closure to certain things in my life that I'm just okay with. I'm 43. I'm used to this stuff. I am used to it. I have been able to focus in on what areas that I need improvement on and do work on them, because the best thing that you want to do is be the healthiest version for yourself. So if these type of videos work for you, go find them, seek them out. We spend all day doom scrolling, don't we? Sometimes it's good to bring in some stuff that's not doom, it's not gloom, but it's light.